Yes, very good evening, students. Welcome to this class. So, today
Good
in
evening,
this
sir.
session, we will be starting with new chapter. So, I would like to start with the chapter triangles. Okay. So, before going into your 10th CBSE triangles, in this session, the entire session, I will be covering all basics of this chapter. Okay. So here in today's session, I'll be covering the basics. So how do I cover the basics? I'll be covering the basics from your ninth CBSE portions. So let us just revise everything about this chapter, what you have studied so far. Okay, what is a triangle? Then what are the properties of triangle? You have studied about the congruency of triangles. Then you have studied about similarity of triangles. So these basics you have studied. So under congruency of triangles, you have studied certain rules. So first, let us study what is triangle. So this is the first question that comes into mind. So what is a triangle? Then let us study some of the properties of triangle. Okay, extremely important, the properties of triangle, different types of triangles such as right angled triangle, isosceles triangle, etc. Okay, then let us study about the congruency rule. So I will cover congruency rule, the different congruency rule that we have so far studied. Then also about CPCT, corresponding part of congruent triangle, CPCT rule. This is also very important for you. Then you have studied at the end few types of triangles and their properties. Okay, so I will be covering these things in this class, and once we have revised all this, the next class onwards, I will directly start with the core your 10th standard syllabus. Okay, core of your 10th standard syllabus. So first, we need to know what is a triangle. So first is that. So what is a triangle? So it is a three-sided. It is a three-sided closed figure. So this is very important. The closed part becomes extremely important. So triangle is a three-sided closed figure. So let us take an example and draw. So I'm randomly drawing three sides. So this is a closed figure, but it is bounded by how many sides? It is bounded by three sides. So let us name. So here, if this closed figure is considered, then AB, BC, CA are the sides. So how many sides do I have here? I have three sides, and the angles. So angles bounded. So angles are bounded by how many sides? Angles are always bounded by two sides. Remember this. Okay, angles are bounded by two sides. For example, if I say angle A, angle B, angle C, if I just mention this, the actual meaning is this angle A is bounded by lines AB and AC. Observe this. So angle A is bounded by lines AB and AC. Is this clear to all of you? Similarly, angle B, this angle is bounded by sides AB and BC, or we can say BA and BC. It is bounded by BA and BC. Similarly, angle C. Now tell me students, angle C is bounded by what sides? Angle C is bounded by, yes, CB and CA. That is CB and CA. So for formation of an angle, two sides are required. Two sides which will, we can say, bind an angle. So we can say an angle is bounded by two sides. So we can say that for it's a closed figure formed by three intersecting lines. So three-sided closed figure bounded by three, we can say three intersecting lines. Three intersecting lines. So this is extremely important. The reason why I'm stressing on this part is many of you will get confused when congruency is studied. Congruency is especially when we study the axioms and the theorems. There comes the terms like bounded by. Supposedly, if I say a rule, so what is angle bounded by two sides, or the side opposite to equal angle? So we must know the meanings of this in very much in detail. So I request all of you to please make a note of this. Okay, so please make a note of this. So before going into that part, I will tell you the meaning of congruent. So congruent, the meaning of congruent means everything is same. So everything is same. So everything is same means with respect to a triangle, what do we have to speak about? With respect to triangles, we have to speak about sides and we have to speak about angles. Okay, so in congruent triangles, that means two congruent triangles, if I have to say, that means two same triangles, the sides should be same as well as angles should be equal. Sides should be same means what are we going to measure? We are going to measure the length. So length of each side must be same. Angle, obviously, that itself is a a unit, or maybe we can say a form of measurement. So angle is a straightforward measured in degrees here. Okay, but when we say with respect to side, it is the length that we are talking about. So length of the two sides must be equal. So we have studied about congruent figures. So an example for congruent figures, if we take bangles, so we can say two bangles which are in circular shape, the two bangles are congruent because their radius is same, the size is the same. So bangle is one simple example for your congruent figure. Okay, so similarly, some of the other examples for congruent figures, we can say two squares. Take two squares of same size. Two squares, for example, I can say size of 3.5 centimeter. So if I draw two squares of 3.5 centimeter, both the squares are congruent, but they are same because internal angle is 90 degrees, so each angle will be 90 degrees, as well as each side of the square are equal in length. So we can say two squares of 3.5 centimeter is an example for congruent figures. Okay, so please make a note of this slide, then we will move to next slide. Please make a note of this. Yes, shall I go to next one then? So let's see about now the congruency part. Okay, so congruent. So let's think about congruent triangles. Okay, so let us see about similarity later. There is a difference between congruency and similarity, so we should be very careful in using the technical terms. So congruent triangle, so how do we do that? So let me take an example to explain you that. Okay, so let's take this side and this. So this forms one triangle for us, and let me draw one more. Okay, so now what I have done here is, students, so I have taken two triangles. So let me name this as P, Q, R, and the other one, let's name it as A, B, C. So what have I named? I have named the vertices. Of the triangle. So let's say AB is 3 centimeter. Okay, AC is 3.2 centimeter, and BC is 3.5 centimeter. Now, for second triangle, that is triangle PQR, I'll say this is 3 centimeter, this is 3.5 centimeter, and this is 3.2 centimeter. Now, for congruency, if I have to observe the congruency part, okay, I have to look for, what should I look for? Anybody? Can anybody say now what should I look for? I should look for equal length sides. I should look for equal length sides and I should start making markings on that. So how do I do that? See, AB is corresponding to which side here? AB is corresponding to PQ, as AB and PQ, yes, AB and PQ both are equal in length. So I will make a single marking, that is AB indicating AB equal to PQ. Then you take for example AC. So AC is 3.2 centimeter. AC is 3.2 centimeter. Yes, AC corresponds to PR over here because AC and PR both are 3.2 centimeter in length. So observe students, for AB and PQ I marked with single length indicating they are corresponding sides. Similarly AC for and PR I marked with double lines here. Okay, now the remaining side I will make it with 3 dashes because BC is corresponding to QR, which are 3.5 centimeter each. So here what did I mark? I indicated the corresponding sides which are equal in length. So corresponding sides which are equal in length. Okay, so now I can say that ABC, triangle ABC is congruent to triangle PQR based on all 3 sides being equal, So for this now what I have to say is 3 and 3.2. So length 3 and 3.2 are binding this angle. Observe students, this is very important now from angle point of view, 3 and 3.2 centimeters. So for this I have to say which is 3 and 3.2. So here this is the 3 centimeter line, this is 3.2 centimeter line. That means this angle. So I have to write that angle A is corresponding to angle P. Now for angle B, which is the corresponding angle? Anybody? For angle B, which will be the corresponding angle? Angle B is bound by 3 centimeter and 3.5 centimeter. So here also I should observe the same. Yes, it is bound here between PQ and QR. Yes, so this will be corresponding to angle Q. Similarly, the last one, that is this angle, is angle C is corresponding to angle R. So in this case, by luckily ABC has come in order with PQR, but this need not be the case always. Remember this. So this is how you should identify the corresponding sides and the corresponding angles. So that is why the word corresponding comes into picture, and incongruent triangles. So here comes CPCT. So what is CPCT? Corresponding. This is what we just identified. Corresponding parts. So what parts did we consider here when we talked about? We talked about sides and angles. Those are the 2 parts that we are talking about in this case. So corresponding parts of congruent triangles. So this is the one, we can say, sub result which we will be using always. That is CPCT, congruent parts or corresponding parts of congruent triangles. So this we will be dealing actually very much in detail. So I hope this is now clear to everyone. Is there any doubts with this? Congruent meaning what is congruent triangles? That's all. Next we will see what are the various criteria that we use to find out the congruency of 2 triangles. So is it clear till here? The meaning of triangle, congruent triangles, what do you mean by parts? So we have 2 kinds, angles and sides, and how to identify the corresponding parts, that is corresponding side and corresponding angle. So corresponding parts of congruent triangles. So is this clear to all of you? Yes, till here is this clear? Yes, good. Okay, so if this is clear, then now let us see criteria. Let us see for criteria of congruency, criteria of congruence of triangles. So let us see this now. Okay, criteria of congruence of 2 triangles. So now here I will not be going in detail with respect to proofs and all. I will not be going. So what I will be revising is I will be revising various theorems and axioms that you have already come across in your 9th syllabus. Okay, so I will be discussing all the criteria of congruence of two triangles. So you have first one axiom over here. So what is the axiom? Can anybody tell me the axiom for this? Axiom is known as SAS congruence rule. Okay, please note down along with me SAS congruence rule. Listen to me as well as make a note. So be quick on that part. Okay, so the first axiom that you have studied under criteria of congruence of triangles is the SAS congruence rule. So what SAS congruence rule says? So please make note of this. Two triangles. So two triangles are congruent. Please write along with me, students. Two triangles are congruent if two sides and one included angle are equal. Included angle of one triangle are equal to two sides and the included angle of the other triangle. So this is a statement. So I have written the exact statement from your textbook. So under SAS congruence rule, observe, under SAS congruence rule, which stands for side congruence rule, two triangles are congruent if, so this is the important part, two sides and one angle. If two sides and one included angle, this is very important, you should not miss out the word included. One included angle of one triangle are equal to the two sides and the included angle of the other triangle. So here comes the question, what is the meaning of included? If the angles are not included, will SAS congruence rule be applied? So that is the reason when I talked in the previous slide about corresponding parts, this is very important. See, this is the included angle from between AB and AC. Okay, two sides AB and AC. So if I have to speak about SAS congruency rule, the very important part is, if I supposedly say, okay, let me draw two triangles now. So observe here in these two triangles. So this is A, B, C, and I have P, Q, R. So what does the statement say? It says two sides. So let's say AB is equal to PQ and AC is equal to PR. So two sides are equal. So two sides of which triangle? Two sides of ABC as well as PQR triangles are equal. So I can say in triangle ABC and triangle PQR, AB is equal to PQ, then AC is equal to PR. The meaning of included angle is, now we must consider this angle only. These two angles should be equal. That means angle A should be equal to angle P. Supposedly in your question they said angle B is equal to angle Q. They gave it like this. AB is equal to PQ, AC is equal to PR, angle B is equal to angle Q. Then remember students, we cannot consider SAS congruence rule. So in order to consider SAS congruence rule, that is the reason first we write side, angle, side. That means between these two sides only whatever angle comes, those two angles of two triangles should be equal. Then only SAS congruence rule will hold good. Is this clear to all of you? Is this clear? Only in this case SAS will consider. So how do we consider SAS? Side, angle, side. Okay, side, angle, side. So included angle comes into picture. Included angle. The meaning is two sides and one included angle of one triangle should be equal to two sides and the included angle of the other triangle. Then only SAS criteria will hold good. Okay, is this clear to all of you? Any doubts anywhere? Is this clear? SAS congruence rule. So I don't think now you should have any doubts with SAS rule. How to apply SAS rule? So how to apply SAS rule? Consider two triangles, consider the angles sides which are equal, and also consider the angles which are bound by the equal sides. Only those angle and sides must be considered for SAS congruence rule. I hope this is very clear to all of you. Yes. So yes, see we have to find the sides, then we can say angles are equal. If sides are equal, doesn't mean angles should be equal. Okay, remember this. It doesn't mean if sides are equal, doesn't mean the included angles are also equal. Need not be. That is not the case. So SAS holds good, but at the same time, SSA, ASS, these two rules will not hold good. Remember, only SAS will come into picture. Side, angle, side. SSA and ASS will not be considered under congruency rule. Okay. So under this, you have that one theorem now. So what theorem? The theorem is called as angle side angle congruence rule. See, angle side angle. What was earlier case? SAS, side angle side, but now this is ASA rule. ASA rule is for angle side angle rule. So two triangles are congruent. So please make note of this along with me. Two triangles are congruent. Two triangles are congruent if two angles and the included side of one triangle are equal to two angles and the included side of the other triangle. Anybody any doubt with this theorem? It is just the counterpart of the first part, counterpart of that another axiom we studied, that is SAS rule. Whatever SAS rule we studied, this ASA is the counterpart of that. So there we said two sides and the included angle. Here we are saying two angles and the included side. That's all. So this is the counterpart of SAS congruency rule. So this is ASA congruency rule. So here comes the question: what is the meaning of included side? Okay. So I'll just clarify that also. Those anybody having doubt with that, you can easily clarify. So just observe. Okay, so this is first triangle and this is second triangle. So when I have considered these two triangles, so if this is A, B, C, P, Q, R, if I say angle B is equal to angle Q and angle C is equal to angle R, then can anybody tell me which is the included side? Can anybody tell me which is the included side? So what are the statements that I made? I said that angle B is equal to angle Q and I said angle C is equal to angle R. Now for ASA rule to hold good, that is angle side angle. Now can you tell me which is the side? Which side must be equal? Yes, correct. So BC should be equal to QR. Only in this case we can say ASA holds good. Only in this case ASA holds good, otherwise no. Otherwise, no, because BC is the single side which is common to angle B and angle C, as well as QR is a single side which is common to both angle Q and angle R. That is why BC and QR are called as the included side of the triangles, are called as the included sides of the triangle. Understood? Is that clear to all of you? If it was like this, if AB is equal to PQ, then students, you cannot apply ASA. You cannot apply ASA with angle B is equal to angle Q, angle C is equal to angle R, and AB is equal to PQ. You cannot use ASA. For using ASA, the third statement becomes extremely important. So what is the third statement? The side should be the included side. The side should be the included side. Okay. Fine. So if we get two angles equal, then included side is equal by default, or can they differ? They can differ. They can differ. See, I'll show you simple thing. You take one very small triangle. You take one long triangle. You observe here, the angles can be equal, but the sides need not be same, right? You maintain the shape of two triangles, but make it bigger. You make one triangle bigger, then the sides will change, right? So it is not that if two angles are corresponding angles are equal, then the included side must be equal by default. Need not be. That is why triangles requires very good imagination. So here for this we have one rule, that is AAS congruence rule. AAS congruence rule. This also holds good, students. AAS congruence rule also will hold good. That is two angles and one side. Okay. With this also it is applicable. Congruency. See, congruency means we are taking two figures and making a comparison. You can take three figures and say all the three triangles are equal. All the three figures are equal in every aspect. Then we can say the three figures are congruent to each other. No issues. You can say, you can apply to that, Mridula. Is that clear to all of you? Yes, is that clear? Yes, good. Good. Okay, so let me go to the next part. So this was the first part of your ninth syllabus. That means you studied about SAS, then ASA and AAS congruence rule. So next what we are going to study some properties of triangle. Okay, I'll just revise some properties. Some properties of triangle. So this is a topic that you have studied here. So the first one is now tell me, what is an isosceles triangle? So what is isosceles triangle? So triangle in which two sides are equal. Two sides are equal. Equal means what? They are equal in length. The length of two sides. The length of two sides. Then we call it as isosceles triangle. Two sides are equal, we call it as isosceles triangle. And remember students, when we speak about isosceles triangle, it is sufficient to speak with respect to sides only. We need not worry about angles. Okay. So for example, for isosceles triangle, supposedly I said two sides are equal, that is sufficient. We need not speak again from angle point of view. For ABC, if I say AB is equal to AC, then it is sufficient. I can say AB is equal to AC. It means that the triangles are isosceles. Sorry, the triangle is isosceles triangle. That means the two sides must be equal. The two sides must be equal. But here comes the property. This is very important. This is where is the property. It is the property for the angles. Okay, property for angles in isosceles triangle. So isosceles triangle. So can anybody tell me what is the property? The property is that the angles opposite to equal sides of an isosceles triangle are equal. So AB is equal to AC. It means that which is the side opposite to angle AB, angle C is the angle opposite to side AB. For side AC, which is the angle opposite to side AC, angle B. So angle B is equal to angle C. This is the implied result or the property of isosceles triangle. That means what? Angles opposite to equal sides. Angles opposite to equal sides of an isosceles triangle. Of an isosceles triangle are equal. So identifying opposite angles is very important. So for AB, which is the opposite angle, angle C is opposite. For AC, angle B is opposite. So angle B is equal to angle C. So here comes very important point which I would like to highlight. Student, it is in a triangle. This is very important. In a triangle, okay? In a triangle. Supposedly I gave you two triangles like this. And I said this side is equal to this side and this side is equal to this side. Then it doesn't mean that the angles are equal by default. Remember this, it is not so, because the sides belong to different triangles. So what I would like to clarify here is the rule called angles opposite to equal sides are equal is applicable in a single triangle. In a single triangle where two sides are equal, then the corresponding opposite angles are also equal. Is this clear to all of you? Is this very clear, or should I repeat? Is this very clear? In an isosceles triangle, angles opposite to equal sides are equal. See, I'll repeat. In an isosceles triangle, that means in a single triangle, in an isosceles triangle, angles opposite to equal sides are equal. So the counterpart. Okay, so what is the counterpart of that? That is the sides. The sides opposite to equal angles. The sides opposite to equal angles of a triangle. Of a triangle are equal. This is also true. Okay, the sides opposite to equal angles of a triangle are equal. If this is the case, we can conclude that the triangle is isosceles triangle. The triangle will become an isosceles triangle. Okay, is this clear to all of you? So isosceles property, is this clear? Isosceles property, yes. So after knowing this, with this basics in mind, we can study now one congruency rule that is called as SSS congruency rule. Okay, SSS congruency rule. That means the three sides, it's very simple, three sides of one triangle, the three sides of one triangle are equal to corresponding three sides, or I can say three sides of the other triangle. That means all the sides of both the triangles must be equal to each other. All the sides are equal to each other. So SAS congruence rule says if three sides of one triangle are equal to the three sides of another triangle, then the two triangles are congruent. Then we can say then two triangles are congruent triangles by SSS rule. By SSS rule. Three sides of one triangle are equal to three sides of the other triangle, then we can say the triangles are congruent by SSS hypothesis. SSS hypothesis. Is that clear, students? Is that clear to all of you? Is that clear to all of you? Yes? Okay, fine, good. So let us study one more congruence rule. I hope you are all writing down along with me. Okay. So since I have to cover all the concepts of your ninth in one session, I am not giving you much time to make a note of this, and this video will be uploaded in the app today itself. So you can make a note from there, and any doubts you can later message me in Buttonbug Tutorials app also. I will be responding over there. Okay. So let me now talk about RHS congruent rule. RHS congruence rule. Yes. So what does this stand for? Right hand side. That is right angle, one side. Right angle, hypotenuse and side. So here it stands for right angle, then hypotenuse, then one side. So this is the expansion of this rule, RHS congruence rule. So what is the special peculiarity that we have to say? This is applicable for right angle triangles. Right angled triangle. So this is especially applicable for right angled triangles. So if we have to take two right angled triangles and make a comparison and find out whether the triangles are equal or not, then we can go for RHS congruence rule. So in RHS congruence rule, what should happen? So the first is one angle should be 90 degrees. This is the first one. Then the hypotenuse of triangles are equal, and also one side other than hypotenuse, one side of two triangles should be equal. Is that correct? So we can say in a statement, if in two right triangles the hypotenuse and one side of one triangle are equal to the hypotenuse and the one side of the other triangle, then the two triangles are congruent. Do I need to write down the statement? Anybody? Should I write down the statement or should I just repeat once again? So I'll just repeat here. So if in two right angled triangles, hypotenuse and one side are equal to the hypotenuse and side of the other triangle, then two triangles are congruent. This is the RHS rule. I hope this is clear to all of you. Yes? Anybody? Is there any doubts with this? Sir, 90 degree also we should write in the statement. That has come in the statement, Siddhant. Where has it come? Into right angled triangles. The meaning of right angled triangles is itself meaning the angle is 90 degree. And what is hypotenuse? Hypotenuse itself is the side opposite to 90 degrees. Hypotenuse is a name given to the side which is opposite to 90 degrees. So it is automatically implied in the statement itself that 90 degree is the must and should of this rule. Okay, fine. Yes. So I hope this is clear. Then let's study the most important part and most confusing part, that is inequality. Inequalities. Okay. Inequality in a triangle. Inequalities in a triangle. So as the name suggests, we so far studied about equality. Equality means what? We said 3.5 centimeter is equal to 3.5 centimeter. 65 degrees is equal to 65 degrees. That means the exactness of the parts when we spoke about, we call it as equalities. Now when we speak about inequalities in a triangle, the meaning is we are talking about concept called as greater than or smaller than. So we just make something called as comparison. So here we talk about the quantities in comparison terms. That means side AB is greater than side PQ. Angle C is less than angle B. So we are talking in these terms. So these are called as the inequalities: greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. These are all called as inequalities. Okay, these are all called as inequalities. So here you have to make the comparisons. That means we have to make comparisons of larger side compared with angles, smaller side compared with angle again here. Okay, so for this you have a theorem. For this you have a theorem. So what is the theorem? So I'll make a note of that theorem. So if two sides, if two sides of a triangle, if two sides of a triangle are unequal, if two sides of a triangle are unequal, the angle opposite, the angle opposite to dash side is larger. So can anybody tell me this? So in a triangle, so I'll give you the example. So let's consider this triangle. So PQR. I say PQ is greater than PR. I say PQ is greater than PR. So then, so if two sides of a triangle are unequal, the angle opposite to, yes, correct. What you most of you given is correct. The larger side is larger. The angle opposite to the, so we do not say it as larger side. We have to say it as, what we have to say it as? Anybody? Longer side. The length measured. Yes, the longer side. So if I say PQ is greater than PR, then this angle is greater than angle R is greater than angle Q. So in a triangle, if two sides of a triangle are unequal, the angle opposite to the longer side is larger. The angle opposite to longer side is larger. The counterpart is also true. That is, angle opposite to smaller side is smaller. So that part is also true. That is saying the theorem from the other side. So if I have to write one counter theorem for this, how do I write the counter theorem for this? I'll say in any triangle, the side opposite, the side opposite to the larger angle is longer. See students, here what adjective are we using here? We are not saying long, large, we are not saying that. We are doing the comparative adjective that we are using, that is longer, larger. So we are just comparing two sides and two angles, and we are saying that the in any triangle, side opposite to larger angle is longer. The larger angle is longer. Okay, and one last property of this inequality is this. I think it is obvious. The sum of the sum of any two sides. The sum of any two sides of a triangle is greater than is greater than the third side. This is obvious. By logic also we observe, by visualization. If I just close my eyes and think also, it is true. That means a triangle first of all has three sides. So of the three sides, if I add the lengths of two sides, the sum of these two sides must be greater than the third side. Must be greater than the third side. Is this clear, students? I am not going into the proof. Why am I not going to the proof? You can just go through the proof. If you have any doubts, you can just ask me. So these are all the concepts of your ninth triangles so far. Okay, so just I will revisit everything from the beginning. So those who missed or joined late, please listen to this. I will just summarize what topics we covered today. So under triangles basics, we have studied what is triangle. So triangle is a closed bounded figure bounded by three sides. Then we studied congruence of triangles. Then we have talked about properties and something called as CPCT. So we said what is triangle? It is a three-sided closed figure. Which is formed by three intersecting lines. It will have three sides and two angles. So three sides and three angles. Two sides will form a angle. Two sides will form an angle, and included angle is the angle which is formed or found between the two corresponding sides of two triangles. No, similarity is not the concept that you have to much worry about. Don't much worry about similarity. Okay, what more concept that you will study about is the congruency only. When it comes to similarity, wherever required, I will cover. You need not worry at all. Whenever this similarity is required, I will be covering, students. You need not worry on that aspect. Okay. So here we talked about congruent figures. So congruent figures means we said whatever the quantities we are going to consider, the quantities must be equal. In that case, we call about or we talk about congruent figures. Then we said about congruency means we are talking about sides and angles. When it comes to sides, we have to say same sides. Same means with respect to length. Angles means whatever the degree that we are measuring, that comes into picture. Then congruent triangles, under this we studied equal length and corresponding parts, CPCT. So we said whichever the equal sides are considered, the angles opposite to those equal sides will become the corresponding angles. Then we talked about the first congruency rule, that is SAS congruence rule, side, angle, side. And here the most important part that we have to remember is about the included angle. So what is the included angle? Included angle is that angle which comes between the corresponding equal sides of two triangles. Two triangles when compared, equal sides, those two equal sides, whatever the angle that they include becomes the included angle for SAS congruence rule. Then we studied about ASA congruence rule, that is angle side angle, the counterpart. Okay, that is two angles and the included side of two triangles, if they are equal to each other, then we can apply ASA congruence rule. For ASA congruence rule, again we studied some small byproduct, that is AAS congruence rule. And I forgot this part here. You remember, we cannot apply SSA or ASS rule. For side angle side, we cannot say side angle or angle side. We cannot use this order. We have to go for SAS only. Okay. And for ASA, there is small byproduct rule, that is AAS congruence rule, two angles and one side. Then we studied some properties of triangle. That is where we studied about isosceles property. Isosceles property means in a single triangle, if two sides are equal, then we call that triangle as isosceles triangle. And for that we studied a property called as in an isosceles triangle, angles opposite to equal sides are equal, as well as the corresponding reverse, that is sides opposite to equal angles of a triangle are also equal. With this, we came to the congruence rule called as SSS congruence rule. That is, if when I compare two triangles, if all the sides of one triangle are equal to all the sides of the other triangle, then also the two triangles are congruent to each other. Then we talked about a specific triangle, that is congruence for right angled triangles. That's where RHS comes into picture. RHS stands for right angle, hypotenuse and one side. That means if in two right angle triangles, hypotenuse and one side are equal to the hypotenuse and side of the other triangle, then two triangles are congruent to each other. So what are the quantities that we have to consider over here? We have to consider one angle should be 90 degrees, hypotenuse of one triangle should be equal to hypotenuse of the other triangle, and one side of right angle triangle should be equal to one side of the other right angle triangle. Then two right angle triangles are congruent to each other by RHS congruence rule. By RHS congruence rule. And then we came to the last concept of this your ninth triangles revision section, that is inequalities in a triangle. So inequalities in a triangle basically talks about the comparison of the quantities. Comparison of what? Comparison of sides, comparisons of angles. So comparison of lengths of sides. So we can say one side is greater than the other side, or one side is lesser than the other side. And we studied the property. What property did we study? If two sides of a triangle are unequal, the angle opposite to longer side is larger as well as the other part. That is, in any triangle, the side opposite to larger angle is longer. So remember this, that is direct proportional. If you consider longer side, then larger angle comes into picture. Shorter side, then smaller angle comes into picture. Okay, so along with this, we studied one last property of inequalities in a triangle, that is, in a triangle obviously consisting of three sides, sum of two sides of triangle is greater than the third side. Okay, I hope this is very, very clear to all of you. Now just let me tell you what you are going to study in 10th triangle chapter. It is actually very easy, students. Only thing is you have to have very good visualization. Visualization means what is included angle, how to do comparison of two triangles. If you are able to do this, triangles chapter becomes very easy. But until and unless you solve more and more questions from this chapter, sometimes triangles under geometry of mathematics, you will definitely feel difficult. Okay, so my suggestion to all of you is, as soon as I do this particular concept of from this chapter, you ensure you are going to watch the video again, as well as you solve more and more numerical problems. But before solving numerical problems, ensure you are mastering the theory. You are understanding very well. Even whatever may be the small doubt you have, get it clarified for me. Okay, so I'll just tell you under triangles what you have here for your 10th. Basically similarity comes into picture over here. So similar triangles, similar figures. Okay, whatever we spoke of congruent figures and congruent triangles, here it will come into similar figures and similar triangles will come into picture. Then for similarity of triangles, what is the criteria? So first part you studied in 9th is congruence of triangles. Here you will be studying similarity of triangles. What is the criteria for similarity of triangles? Then how to, you have a theorem on that. Okay, I'll just read out the theorem. If line is drawn parallel to one side of the triangle to intersect the other two sides in distinct points, the other two sides are divided in the same ratio. So when similarity comes into picture, ratio will come into point over here. So I will be explaining you all that, including the derivation also. Okay, don't worry about that. Then you have one more theorem called, if line divides any two sides of a triangle in the same ratio, then the line is parallel to the third side. This is nothing but the theorem counter to the first theorem. So 6.1 and 6.2 are counterpart of each other. Okay, then you have exercise on that. Finally comes the criteria for similarity of triangles. When we do comparison of two triangles, how do we identify that two triangles are similar? How we had SSS congruence rule, ASA congruence rule, AAS congruence rule, RHS congruence rule. Similarly, you have similarities of two triangles. There are criteria. AAA criteria is very, very important. Angle, angle, angle. we had SSS congruence rule, we have AAA similarity rule. AAA similarity rule is there, which is very important. Then also you have other similarity rules which we will be discussing in detail. Okay, so remember, in 10th triangle similarity chapter, the terms like ratio, proportion is very common. You will be understanding these terms and coming across these terms very frequently. Okay, so with that we have very many numerical problems on this concept. Then when we speak about similarity of triangles, there comes a quantity called as area of triangle also. So when we consider similar triangles, what is the concept of area? That also we will be studying in 10th standard triangles chapter, that is area of similar triangles. So based on area of similar triangles concept, you have finding out the actual areas. So numerical problem will have that area concept, where they will give two triangles areas are in particular ratio, find out what is the area of one triangle. So for that they will give you various criteria. Okay, and all of you know the concept called as Pythagoras theorem. You have already studied this, correct? In a right angle triangle, square of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of squares of other two sides. That theorem you have here. What do you have here in this chapter? You have the proof. You need to prove the Pythagoras theorem, how Pythagoras theorem comes into picture and how it can be proved. Okay, that is there very in brief. We can learn that also. There is one theorem on that part, theorem, and also an sub part on that. That is also very easy. Okay, but remember students, 10th triangles is a little lengthy chapter. We will solve as many questions as possible in the class itself, but please ensure you are following all my instructions and general instructions for this chapter very carefully, and in the one shot itself, please ensure you are understanding everything, making sure you are practicing again and again, reading the theory part again and again, and solve as many numerical problems as possible. Once this chapter is over and other chapters are also over, I'll be doing previous year questions also. That time you will be able to relate the concept and board exam questions very well. Okay, fine. Yes, this introductory class, is everything clear to you? Is there any doubts? Please let me know. Yes, is there any doubt with this? No doubts. Okay, fine. So I hope everything was clear. Yes, the class was interesting. I hope this class was interesting to you. So I'll be continuing in the next class. Okay, so in next session we will be starting with the concepts of your 10 triangles. Okay, so till then, take care. Bye bye. I'll close this session.